Central on a Friday, the best place you could open, the best place to start your Friday morning television. I am Benga Bora. We'll have quite a lot in store for you today. It's a very packed and bumper show, so sit back, relax, and let's take you on this ride.
That's right. I would say welcome to Breakfast Central on News Central. Well, it started off on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and here we are on a Friday, and that's why we say it's TGIF. Well, on the biggest, you could say, stories that's got to do with Nigeria, Lagos seems to be the center, and that's because the House of Assembly, unlike what took place in River State, is taking a different turn. Well, the drama and the suspense was well enough for you to ditch a sweet and well-scripted movie to watch what happened, especially at the Lagos State House of Assembly. It had to do with a lot of gun-wielding policemen, and not forgetting to the return of one that could be tagged as a Thanos, because he did get the Infinity Stones and it was ready to snap his finger at it, and bam, he was back on the stage, especially taking his seat, taking over his office, ensuring that no Avengers will be able to attack or indeed assemble. And he was able to indeed lead the plenary with maybe just 4 or 5 persons present. And we're talking about the all-important conversation that's been trending on X and every other platform, and News Central was there live to cover it. It's got to do with the return of Obasa. Now that will make a very good movie.
It sounds
of Obasa.
It does sound like a Nollywood movie. Like you rightly said, you couldn't have scripted this, but there are implications for the people of Lagos, the politics, and of course legal implications, because as we speak, Mr. Obasa claimed in a TV interview last night that the current speaker, legally speaking, Anambra, reportedly resigned. We don't know what that situation is. She hasn't released any statement. She hasn't said anything about it. And if you resign, you come out to say, look, I've resigned. We also know the circumstances that led to Mr. Obasa's resignation. And of course, law enforcement was also involved yesterday. As we know, the police detail of the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mojisola Anambra, was removed and reassigned to Obasa. So much to unpack, but we'll look at it in details during the course of the breakfast show. So you really don't want to miss that.
All right. Anyway, the videos you're seeing there happens to be the video from what happened from way back when the House of Assembly in Lagos State was besieged, as it were, by security operatives, otherwise reportedly mentioned as DSS. Well, a different story emerged yesterday, as we rightly said, and like Benga has also broken it down. But there are conversations upon conversations that's got to do with the fact that Obasa had told Nigerians who cared to listen that you cannot just remove him that way, and therefore he made his return. Now, he didn't just come back, he also had a lot of persons, I'm talking about a crowd, who followed him. And our reporters were there to ensure that they caught up with these, in quotes, supporters of Obasa, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, who came back to claim the throne. It's much more like a movie that you would actually watch. But like I said, this is highly scripted. It's reality TV. And it's got to do with the fact, like we said, the return of Obasa part 1 and 2. And this time, he didn't just come back. He came back with a lot of pomp, pageantry, swag. And like he said, he spoke. Hopefully we'll get that video.
Like atmosphere.
Yes, yes. And he spoke deeply about his return and so much more. Well, I'll wait for that video to come up on Wake Up Conversations. Let's also tell you that, Benga, there seems to be a different side to this story. But the different side is many have been asking, where are the House members? The other members of the House.
The majority of the House.
Where are they? Because initially we did see them take pictures with Miranda. They even stood up and said, listen, we stand with you, we stand for you. But when the drama started yesterday and it was unfolding, everybody was asking, where are they now?
So a cross-section of the members did speak to members of the press and said, look, we have our mandate given to us by our constituents, and we stand by the Honorable Mojisola Miranda. She's still our speaker, and we're not, and they were standing on the opposition. So we would wait and see. Like you said, the return of Obasa has part 1. We've seen part 2, and there's every likelihood that there's going to be part 3, 4, and so on. So we just wait and see how things clear up. Yes, absolutely. On the return of Obasa.
Okay. Well, let's move away from that, Binga. Let's also look at what our second conversation is. I think you have that ready, if I'm right.
Yes.
What's it basically?
Okay, we go to Anambra State, where native doctors and Ezenwines.
I couldn't hold it.
They're protesting alleged witch hunt by Soludo's administration. No, Joe, these are people's means of livelihood.
I'm sorry, man. I couldn't hold it.
And Ezenwines and native doctors, their lives matters. So let's take a listen, and then we'll come back and discuss.
I know. Ọka ka anyị nọ kịta ndị traditional native doctors fon n'anya hụ na fon na anyị dị n'igwe anyị dị n'igwe wee na-aga fon n'anya hụ na fon na gọọmenti haus na ka anyị na-eje anyị wụ ndị traditional native doctors Anambra State Nigeria fon n'anya hụ na fon dibịa ndị Anambra State anyị bịalụ in peace anyị chọrọ ka anyị jee fụ gọvanọ ka anyị mara ihe mmelụ anyị eji wee na-amatriti anyị otu a na-eme anyị intimidate ụlọ anyị okwu na anyị ha n'ogbe anyị ka nkụ ime anyị ekwu n'ọmụ awakanụ na echi mso obere nwa na nke ike n'ọdụ ukwu odogwa kata odogwa onyinye igwe arụsị abụọ obere chi.
Yeah, DBS and Ezenwines, native doctors and African traditional medicine practitioners, are Nigerian citizens. They have a right to express their grievances, and you saw them on that march to the governor's office to protest their means of livelihood. But some of you might be wondering, what's the meaning of all of this? What is the cause of the ruckus? Let me give you the gist. Some native doctors and traditional medical practitioners Indi, Dibia, and Ezenwines in Anambra State have protested against alleged selective justice by the state. They claim that the use of Agune Chamber security operatives was a witch hunt, anti-traditional faith, and a violation of their constitutionally backed fundamental rights to practice the religion of their choice. If you recall, a member of the Anambra State House of Assembly was murdered, it was kidnapped and murdered, and it was said that one of this Ezenwines was consulted. So I guess the person was apprehended, and they just made a blanket ban on, I guess they have the knowledge on...
Let me just add to that. Yes. Many might wonder why I was laughing. Well, the other aspect to this story, before what you just brought to the light, is this. One, the governor had said that if you are a native doctor... Now, let me just give you the crux of how this really started. Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo decided to destroy all shrines because they found out that these shrines were also enhancing insecurity and so on. So he took a serious check and ensured that these shrines were destroyed. There were indeed footages of one of the most popular shrines, and they were destroyed. Now, not just being destroyed, you did have these native doctors who came out and said, why would you do that? I mean, this is who we are. The governor didn't stop there. You know what he did? He decided to arrest them. So this is why I was laughing. Now, while he arrested them, they got them and locked them up in prison. Now, they protested and said, you cannot lock us up. It doesn't make sense. I know his response. His response was, as governor of the state, and you claim to be a native doctor, now you're going to gain your freedom. All you need to do is disappear from prison.
Yes.
If you can disappear from prison, then you are free. So it was like, you see me and
you don't
see me again. And then I come back and then you see me. But guess what the native doctor said? They came and said, how is that possible? Oh, really? So you can't teleport? So that's the funny aspect of the story.
And just to follow up on what you said, Joe.
Yeah.
One of them, Igwe Kweze, a rival native doctor, known for promoting native practices on Facebook, had reportedly criticized Nwagu and Okocha for being easily captured by the security operatives. However, he was apprehended a day later. He's still in custody as we speak. He has not used his magic to disappear.
The truth is, I like what the governor has done. The governor has done something that everyone should actually also pay attention to. We've gotten to a level where if we need to tackle insecurity, if we need to tackle some things that are not acceptable in our society, then we must tackle it headlong. And this is one of it. You have people who have vested their interest, their trust on people who tell them that, listen, I'm going to ensure that I empower you. We're going to stop insecurity. We're also going to empower people. Now, while this may work...
But Joe, there's another side to the conversation.
Okay.
Because they are protesting look, we have our rights to practice our business and all of that. Should it be regulated? And at what point do you draw the line between, doing rituals that break the law and people just practicing their African traditional religion? Because if you recall, this is what a lot of our ancestors practiced before the advent of Christianity and Islam in Nigeria in those days. So they're trying to keep it original, but it's just that a few bad eggs have muddled the waters.
I get your point, and that's fair enough. But I think what the governor said and what he's done would indeed settle this entire rift,
I would also like to ask you, how do you address native doctors? Do you call them doctors, like medical doctors? Have you ever used the services of an Ezewine? I guess we'll talk after the program.
Let's leave this to Governor Soludo. He's chosen to handle it the best way. If you can't disappear from prison, then you are free. Go ahead and practice what you're practicing. But if you can't, then we need to talk about, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about one story that trended yesterday. It's got to do with Labour Party, Obedient Movement. Yes, the Obedients got into a scuffle with other political party supporters. Now, a video did come up on social media, particularly on X. That video showed Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, who was lounging in a first class and relaxing while making some phone calls and stretching his feet a little. Now, while that video came up, many said, listen, is this not that presidential candidate who had told us that, I don't fly first class, I love to fly economy. I was hoping I could do his voice, but I don't fly first class, but I like to fly economy.
Yeah, that's it.
But then again, the video showed he was seen relaxing, like I said, lounging in a first class, and everyone said, wait, is this not that presidential candidate who says I don't fly? Anyway, Daniel Bwala did not hesitate, and he went on and took up that video himself and says, I don't fly business class, I fly economy, by the way. And that's the image there of the LP presidential candidate. Bigger, let's take a look at this.
Yes.
I've seen my wife in business class. They've seen her in first class. I'm in different class. And we're in the same plane. Because that's what suits her. We don't quarrel with it. It suits him and it doesn't conflict my interest. It doesn't make any difference. So the difference in that fare, I needed to feed people in my village. That's it. I'm not quarreling with it. And I've shown people that. I've seen, if you check all my local flights, is economy.
Okay.
As governor, as the chairman of bank, as everything, I fly economy class.
Wow. Wow.
Or when I travel abroad, it's business class.
For comfort.
No, it must be about 6-7 hours.
Yes.
I travel business class. If I travel with her, people will see it. She's in business class, I'm in economy.
Hey,
it
why?
doesn't. No, it doesn't. It suits her. We're not quarreling with it.
But why do you fly economy?
You know, I don't understand what the hula balu is all about. He's a private citizen. He's not holding any elective position as we speak. Mr. Brala should actually face policies of state and issues that concern Nigerians, because he's a public servant. He's an advisor to Mr. President on policy matters, and he shouldn't be getting into all of this. And he clearly clarified in that video
with the Honest
that
Bunch.
look, if it's, imagine Mr. Peter Obi, he just came back from Indonesia. Do you know how far Indonesia is? You want him to squeeze himself.
But I think that video, the interview he had with the Honest Bunch, that's like months back before this footage emerged. He had already said what he does, and I think this footage, that video justified why we get to see him here. But it's just a story that we had to bring up on Wake Up Conversations because it was trending. But there you have it. Some of the biggest conversations here as we wake up this morning. First off has to do with the Lagos State House of Assembly. The drama, we can't wait. We want to see what happens this morning. There are indeed reports that Right Honorable Mojisola Miranda has indeed tendered a resignation. It happened over the weekend when they did meet together, and Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa was also on seat. I wanted to say something?
I mean, the resignation story just started and originated from Mr. Mudashiru Obasa, who's a political rival of Miranda. So they're going for the same position. He's not happy that he was removed as speaker. He wants to come back. So we just take that information at face value with a pinch of salt, like they say, until things clear up. So allegedly resigned, purportedly resigned, according to Mudashiru Obasa in an interview he granted to News Television.
Anyway, these are conversations that we've had, and we'd like you to feel free, go online and drop your comments, let's know. By the way, we're going to have an extensive conversation on this particular story on the show today.